Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. If you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, here's exactly why you don't want to miss a single update. For weeks we've been saying the Jones family isn't finished making moves, and now Jerry Jones himself has confirmed it. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and press the bell icon so you never miss breaking Cowboys news. Alright, let's jump straight into it. We're not just talking about what Jerry said, we're looking at realistic and very viable players the Cowboys could target before the trade deadline. Here's the headline. On 105.3 The Fan, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones was asked if they're open to adding defensive help via trade. His answer? Absolutely. I'm open for business. Period. With those extra picks in hand, the Cowboys are in position to make a move. That's all we needed to hear. We all know the usual line when Dallas isn't serious about trading: we like what we have, or we've got guys coming up. But this time feels different, and that's why every Cowboys fan should be paying attention. Here's where it gets interesting. Everyone keeps pointing at the cornerback room, but let's be honest, that's probably not where Dallas will spend its trade capital. Cornerback is off my realistic list. So where could the Cowboys actually strike? The clearest way to identify trade targets is simple: look at who's struggling early and which franchises are already thinking about the future. In the NFC right now, a few teams fit that profile, and one stands out as a particularly smart partner. That team is the New Orleans Saints. Why? Because the Cowboys and Saints have long-standing front office ties, and deals often happen between organizations that know each other's decision-makers. And the name that jumps off the page from that roster is Alvin Kamara. Adding a versatile, game-breaking running back like Kamara could instantly supercharge the Dallas offense without mortgaging the future. His contract situation makes him even more attractive. He's nearing the end of his deal, which means the cost to acquire him would likely be far more manageable than a long-term star under contract. If Dallas truly wants to make a bold mid-season splash, Kamara represents exactly the kind of explosive, high-impact addition that could change the course of their season. Now let's talk numbers, because they tell the real story. Alvin Kamara doesn't come with long-term security, which actually reduces his trade cost. Add in the fact he's 30 years old and his value drops even more, yet he's still producing at a high level: 4.5 yards per carry and 144 yards on just 32 attempts this season. That's the kind of production Dallas could use down the stretch. And with the Saints sliding into what looks like a rebuilding phase, moving a veteran like Kamara to a contender makes sense for both sides. From Kamara's perspective, Dallas isn't far geographically or culturally, and NFL teams often try to give respected veterans a chance at a playoff run. This would be one of those situations. Even better, the price tag fits. This isn't a first-round pick trade, this is more in the third or fourth round range for an older back on an expiring deal. Dallas has multiple high picks already, making mid-round selections expendable. Cap-wise, Kamara counts about $18 million next season, and any team acquiring him this year would get a prorated hit, making it even more manageable. In short, this is a bold move the Cowboys could actually afford, both in draft capital and salary cap space. Financially, this isn't a stretch for Dallas. Kamara would count roughly $6 million against the cap this season, a number the Cowboys can handle easily. In fact, for every name we're about to discuss, the cap won't be a roadblock. The real question is fit and value. And no, we're not just grabbing superstar names off random rosters. These are realistic possibilities that make strategic sense. From here on, most of the intriguing targets live in the AFC. Three teams immediately stand out as potential trade partners: the Miami Dolphins, the Cleveland Browns, and the New York Jets. Each of them has its own reasons to listen to offers, from disappointing records to looming rebuilds. Let's start with Miami. On paper they're loaded with talent, but at 0-3 they could be one more loss away from reshuffling everything. The name to watch isn't the obvious one everyone keeps mentioning like Jalen Phillips. It's another defender who's been quietly outperforming expectations when healthy, a player with big upside who's battled injuries but still produces whenever he's on the field. That's exactly the kind of value play Dallas should be looking at. Now let's talk about the Miami name that would make every Cowboys fan sit up, Bradley Chubb. A former number 5 overall pick of the Denver Broncos in 2018, Chubb is a 6'4", 275-pound pass rusher with 3 sacks already this season. He's still disruptive, still productive, but at 29, and turning 30 next year, he's at the point where a team like Miami might start thinking about a reset. Why would the Dolphins even consider moving him? Simple: when franchises feel a rebuild coming, veterans with big contracts are usually the first to go. Chubb has already been traded once in his career, and he's had to rework his deal with Miami just this past offseason. His 2025 base salary dropped from $19.5 million to $3.2 million, lowering his cap number from over $28 million to around $12.4 million and saving the Dolphins about $16 million. If Miami keeps losing, 0-3 now, potentially 0-4 or 0-5, the pressure to shed salary and collect picks will grow. And that's where Dallas could pounce. Chubb would give the Cowboys another proven edge threat opposite Micah Parsons, and because of his restructured contract the financial side would be far more manageable than it looks at first glance. This is exactly the kind of calculated, high-impact move that could tilt a playoff race, and it's one of the few truly realistic splash trades out there for Dallas right now. Remember, Miami only kept Bradley Chubb because he agreed to rework his deal. Without that, he might already be a free agent. That kind of buyer's remorse, combined with his long injury history, makes him the exact type of big-name but manageable cost player Dallas likes to target, proven production when healthy, but not such a clean resume that the price becomes sky-high. Now, let's pivot to the New York Jets, the last team on this list. There's one name there that's been buzzing in trade rumors for months: Breece Hall. Hall is the kind of move that would mirror the Kamara idea but skew younger. At just 24, he's already shown star-level production and would give Dallas an explosive back without forcing them to spend a first-round pick on a rookie next spring. His contract situation is also appealing. He's heading into free agency, so an acquiring team would control whether to extend him, and because of his limited NFL mileage so far, the price tag wouldn't be as crippling as a veteran megadeal. In short, Hall represents a chance for the Cowboys to add a dynamic, ascending player at a premium position and lock him in for the future on their own terms. It's exactly the kind of forward-looking splash that could set up Dallas for a deep run now and a smoother transition later. Because Breece Hall is heading toward free agency, you're not talking about a blockbuster price. His career high is 994 rushing yards, but he's averaged more than 4 yards per carry every season. That's the profile of a young, affordable back with upside. A deal like this probably costs a second or third-round pick, not a first. It might even come as a sign-and-trade type of situation where the acquiring team sets the new contract. The Jets are in transition with a new coach trying to shape the roster, and a disgruntled soon-to-be free agent like Hall is exactly the kind of asset they could flip for value in a down year. For Dallas, pairing Hall with someone like Javonte Williams would instantly give the offense a thunder and lightning backfield. Hall as a potential lead back with Williams complementing him and taking some of the workload. That's a far more realistic way to keep the running game fresh over a long season than asking one player to be a workhorse. And although the Cowboys' focus has been on adding offensive firepower, the Jets also have defensive pieces that could fit, especially given the front office connections between the two teams. It's another area worth watching. The bottom line? Dallas is open for business. Jerry Jones has said it, and the Cowboys have the picks and cap flexibility to act. Whether it's Alvin Kamara, Bradley Chubb, Breece Hall or another name that surfaces, the next few weeks could bring a bold move that reshapes this roster, and Cowboys fans should keep their eyes on every rumor as the trade deadline approaches. Cornerback just isn't where Dallas plans to spend its resources right now. Jerry Jones has already pointed to help arriving from inside the building, names like Savion Rebel, Josh Butler, and of course Trayvon Diggs getting healthier. With that in mind, don't expect a splash trade at corner. What you can expect is the Cowboys exploring another edge rusher or an offensive playmaker if they're not satisfied with their current production, especially from a back like Miles Sanders who's been heavily used but inconsistent. Those are the areas where an outside addition could make an immediate difference. So as the trade deadline approaches, keep your eyes on the pass rush market and versatile skill players. Dallas has the draft capital, the cap space, and now the public green light from Jerry Jones. The front office is clearly open for business, and that means the next few weeks could completely change the look of this roster.